Hello，你好，欢迎回来，Welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger. Date is April 30, 2025. Now, last episode, I asked you guys whether it makes a difference if you have something to look at, or would the black screen be okay? And we had a user that responded that as sighted people, you guys do prefer to have something to look at even if it's just a tree outside. So the tree is back. Yeah. Um, an additional question I will add as a follow up to that for question of the week is uh, would something like this tree be preferable, or if there's something that's more dynamic? Like I have some footage that I took when I was out on a walk or stuff like that. But because they were filmed using a pair of uh, video glasses I was wearing, so obviously there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of movement, um, and I don't know if there's anything really worthwhile looking at on the walk. I don't know if I walked past any interesting sceneries or anything like that. But would something like that be preferable, or would something like this tree that is basically the same every week? Would you guys prefer this? I kind of feel that the walk footage might be a little bit distracting for Wisdom Wednesday and Soul Search Sunday, but I don't know. Now you guys can let me know what you guys think would work. So this week we're going to talk about corrupt politicians. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not giving names, at least not today's. Yeah, we don't have any of those anymore, right? We're like civilized society. We don't have corrupt politicians. That's a thing of the past. Yeah, if only that was the case. Unfortunately, as long as there has been politics, there has been corrupt politicians. And today I'm going to take you back into Chinese history and we'll look at why is it that traditionally speaking, Chinese emperors have always favored corrupt politicians rather than uh, the really straight and narrow, the politicians that stay goody two shoes. Why was it that these Chinese emperors love these corrupt individuals working for them? Did all Chinese emperors have rock in their head? Why do they like these bad people? And maybe, just maybe, if we understand their reasoning behind it, then maybe we will understand today's society. Why is it that maybe, just maybe, leaders and managers and supervisors today still prefer uh, individuals that are a little bit more corrupt than goody two shoes? Before we begin, let me give you guys a very quick historical true example from the Han Dynasty. So going back 2,300 years ago. 2,300 years ago, when the Han founding emperor Liu Bang first um, was appointed, or well, not really appointed. He took the throne of the Han Dynasty. They overthrew the Qing Dynasty, and the Han Dynasty uh, started. And Liu Bang, the Han Emperor, he spent a lot of his time fighting in the west, fighting in the north, leading his troop away from the capital, imperial capital. So he appointed his prime minister to uh, be in his rule in his stead. So the prime minister get to stay at the capital city and take care of stuff at home, while the emperor was away fighting this civil war, that civil war, putting down this rebellion, and basically trying to consolidate everything. So the prime minister was a great man. Okay, the prime minister did such a good job that all the people loved him. All the people loved him, and all the people gave him great reviews. And people wrote to the emperor and said, "Oh my God, the prime minister is such a good man." Nobody was saying that the emperor was a good man, okay? Because he's out somewhere fighting the war. This is like a classic example of when you have a home and daddy is always away working and the mommy is there at home. Who are the children going to say is awesome? Mommy, right? Like the children not going to say daddy is awesome if daddy is never home. Never mind that daddy is actually the one that out there making money so they can have a home. It doesn't matter to the children. Well, in the case of civilians, it really doesn't matter that the emperors are fighting 100 miles away, trying to secure the border. No, the to the civilian, what matters is housing prices, food prices, who gets the farm, people get tax cut and tax exemption and tax break and social benefit. All these things, those things are the kind of things that matters to the civilian, which means everything the prime minister was doing at home was making the civilians feel that he was a great person, and no one cared about the emperor. So one day, the prime minister's good friend came to see him, and he said, "Hey, I just came back to the capital city from the border. I just came back carrying carrying a message for the emperor, and I thought I would come to see you. Uh, Tell me, how's everything here?" And the prime minister was like, "Everything's great, you know. My new housing plan is going accordingly, and everyone's happy. Everything's perfect here. You can tell the emperor he has nothing to worry about. Tell the emperor he can feel free to keep fighting his war. I got everything under control here." His friend looked at him and said, "You are an idiot." And the prime minister said, "What? What did I do?" The guy said, "It's not what you do, it's what you're not doing. You are not doing anything wrong. Okay? You are doing too well. Everybody loves you. Did you know that the emperor have ordered spies to keep track of everything you do? And the moment you even look like you're going to rebel, they're going to kill you." This came as a total shock to the prime minister, who had been super loyal. Like he never thought about betraying the emperor. And he said, "Well, why would the emperor do that? I worked my ass off from sunrise to sunset, serving him, doing everything here. Like, why would the emperor think that I would rebel?" His friend said, "It's not that you would rebel, but the emperor feels that you have garnished so much credit with the people. Everybody loves you. So it's quite possible that when he come back to the capital city, he won't be an emperor anymore. People will want you to be the emperor. And the emperor will not tolerate that. The emperor cannot have people loving you more than people loving him." And the prime minister said, "Oh, gee, God, I never thought of it this way. What should I do? What should I do? I don't want the emperor to kill me and my family just because he's suspicious." His good friend told him, he said, "Listen to me. You need to take bribes. You need to go and do something illegal. Okay? You need to go do something that will really piss off the civilians, make them love you less, and everything will be okay." So from that day on, this loyal prime minister, who was up to this point a really good man, changed. It's like he was possessed by a demon. He started to take bribes under the table. He started to take embezzle money from the government. he started to forcibly take houses and farms away from peasants and add them to his own houses and farms. He started to do all kind of really obnoxious, corrupt stuff. And within a few months, his reputation was so bad that people were writing letters to the emperor asking him to please remove the prime minister. The emperor sent his royal guard to ask the prime minister to come to see him at the military camp. And when the prime minister got there, he was really scared. He was thinking, oh my God, I listened to my friend and I have done all this corrupt stuff. I think I'm going to get my head chopped off. The emperor must be really pissed off at me. To his surprise, when he walked into Emperor Liu Bang's tent, Emperor Liu Bang said, sit down, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. Ah, look, all this time, people been telling me you're a good guy, you're a perfect guy, you can do nothing wrong. And then now you are like just as corrupt as they come. Like seriously, dude. I thought you were some kind of saint. I was worried that they were going to want you to be the emperor. But look here, look at this stack of letters that I got from the civilians. How people hate you. I think you should go home and think about toning that shit down a little bit, eh? I mean, I think it's understandable that you want to act up and abuse your power a little bit, but hey, just between you and I, keep that down a little bit, okay? Okay, fine. Now you can go home. Okay, go. The emperor this entire time said this with a smile on his face. The emperor was happy. He wasn't angry. He was actually happy that this loyal prime minister that he was actually worried about that because he was having too much love from the people now was hated by the people. Now he was corrupt. Nobody liked him. That made the emperor very happy because look, you guys think that he was all that, and now we prove that he's just as bad as anyone else. So you guys better just stick with me because I'm your rightful emperor. So you see, even the founding emperor of the Han Dynasty, Liu Bang himself, really wasn't that bothered with a corrupt politician. He was more bothered when the guy wasn't corrupt. And then if we look at through Chinese history, during Song Dynasty, there was the corrupt uh, prime minister Qin Hui, who as many people know, was instrumental in the death of one of uh, the greatest Chinese general in Chinese history, Yafei. And in the Qing dynasty, there's another famous corrupt politician by the name of He Shen. It said that He Shen had uh, amassed so much wealth from bribes and embezzlement that his worth was more than all the richest people add together today. That's how much money he embezzled. Okay, and yet both Qin Hui and He Shen they were really beloved by the emperors they served. Why is that? So why did Chinese emperor love corrupt politicians so much? Well, the first and foremost reason is it makes them feel secure, as we saw in the case of Liu Bang and his prime minister. When you have a really good politician working for you, it's easy for people to love them rather than love you because as an emperor you're either out fighting the war or you're in the imperial palace. No one ever get to see you, so you are a lot more distant from your subject than your ministers and magistrates. So when these ministers and magistrates are too good, at their job, they're too nice, the people love them. People don't love you. And then pretty soon people say, "Oh my God, we should have this guy as our emperor. It would be so nice if this guy's our emperor." And you know what? Uh, Even if this guy is totally loyal to you, eventually, when enough people whisper in his ear, you should be our emperor. You should lead a rebellion. We should totally will follow you to all the way to hell if we have to. When his family members, when his best friend, when his wife is whispering that in his ear, this person is going to rebel. So when you have a really good uh, minister that everybody loves, then as emperor, that is really scary. On the other hand, when the person is corrupt and there's a lot of people hating him, they won't want him as an emperor. So he is going to be a lot more safe to use than the person that everybody loves. Okay, that is reason number one. It makes the emperor feel secure when the people working for them are a little bit corrupt. Number two, it's easier for the emperor to get things done uh, that's not in the book. It's easier for emperors to get their wishes obeyed when the people working for them are more corrupt than if they are all straight and square and goody two shoes. Okay, um, prime example, right? Like He Sheng of the Qing dynasty. Why was he able to become one of the most corrupt person in Chinese history? How was he able to amass so much wealth? Because he was able to become the favorite person of the emperor. And how did he become the favorite person of the emperor? Because anytime the emperor wanted something done, He Sheng was that number one ass kisser that will jump up and get it done. Okay, he was basically the emperor's lapdog. That's what the emperor wants. Okay, if you were an emperor and if you have people around you that is all goody two shoe and straight and square, you want to go fishing, they say no. You want to get a new mistress, they say no. You want to buy a new sword, they say no. You want to get a new horse, they tell you that's a waste of money. God, like pretty soon you just want to tell them to shut the f up, right? On the other hand, if you have someone who is not playing by the book, if you have someone who is a little bit more shady, then the moment you say, "Man, I can really use a new sword," this person go and bring you 10 different swords from different countries, so you can pick the one you want. And the moment you say, "Man, I think I would really like a new mistress," this person bring you 100 women, all from different parts of the world for you to pick from. Who are you going to love more? Obviously, most people is going to like this second person, the person that is more shady and more eager to fulfill your wishes. We see this in parenting as well. Like a lot of time, we look at parents and we look at that like the kids, and we say, why do they like that particular kids. This dad have like 4 kids, and why is he so nice to that one kid who is no good for anything? This kid who is always running up the credit card, always maxing out the credit card, always out of money, always broke, always getting kicked out of his house. Why is the dad particularly nice to this kid? And the other 3 kids who have jobs and wives and kids and husbands and have a good life and successful, why is the dad not close to them? It's the same reason because these other kids probably do not kowtow to dad. These other kids, they have their own life, they have their own bank account, they have their own credit card. So anytime dad wants something done, they're like, well, we don't have time. Well, dad, that is kind of stupid. Well, dad, why are you wasting money? Well, dad, what's mom going to say about that? But on the other hand, this kid who is always broke, who have to come to dad for money, the moment dad said, man, I would really like to go find some entertainment. This kid's going to, Dad, well, I know there's a new massage parlor, and I know this new gambling joint, and I know there's a new place you can go for fun. And like this kid is going to suck up to dad like so bad because he needs dad's money, right? And as in return, dad feels good to have this kid around. So emperors were exactly the same way. So the second reason why they prefer corrupt politicians working for them is that the corrupt politician would suck up to them. The corrupt politician would be a lot more loyal to the emperor and obey the emperor's command than those goody two shoe uh, politicians who's all about righteous uh, causes and justice and all that stuff. Number three, having corrupt politicians working for you means it's easier for you to control them. Okay, again, let's go back to parenting because I think a lot of what, if you try to understand why the Chinese emperor did this, why the Chinese emperor did that, you can look at parenting, like simple parent and child psychology, and you'll understand. Um, if you're a parent, right? Again, let's say you have two kids, and both of them grown up. One of them have to come to you for money all the time. One of them have to live in your house. One of them have to eat your food. But the other one is independent. The other one is perfect, just that perfect, upstanding citizen. Got good job, good money, good home. They don't need you. Which one do you think is going to be easier for you to control? Probably not the good one, right? In my own family, I can give you I can tell you, even in my own family, like, uh, my father loved my older brother a lot more than he loved me, because of that. Because my older brother constantly needs my father to shelter him, give him money, and help him out of trouble. So anytime my dad says things like, I need you to drive me to this place. I need to come eat dinner with me. I need you to uh, go pick this up for me. I need you to let me use your car. I need to, like, anything my dad said, my brother can't say no. Because if he say no, the next time he needs something, my dad is going to say no. On the other hand, I am okay. I have no problem saying no to my dad because I don't need anything from him, right? So if you ask me nicely, I'll consider it. But if you say I want you to come back to Taiwan to see me, I would say, well, sorry, Dad, I'm like really busy. Work is really busy right now, so no. And my dad would get all angry and like, you say no to me now and just wait until you need me for something next time. I'm like, don't worry, Dad, I never need you for anything. So this is exactly the same, right? Like if you're an emperor, like if this person is corrupt, you know they need you. Why do they need you? Because don't kid yourself about it. If there's a corrupt politician, other politicians know about it, and other politicians will always try to get rid of them, right? And the only way for this corrupt politician to survive and continue taking bribes, continue to get away with embezzling money is because they are sheltered by the emperor, right? So if this politician needs you to shelter them, then it's easy for you to control them. You go tell them to do something they can't say no, right? Because they need you. But if you try to bully a good politician, it can get really messy. Like sometimes you have to end up looking like a bad emperor. You have to literally do the you say what I do, otherwise I chop off your head thing. And then, some of these good politicians will say, good, go ahead, chop off my head. And then you go off and chop off their head, and then you end up looking like the worst emperor in Chinese history. It's just like really messy, right? But corrupt politicians are much easier to control and make them do what you want them to do. Reason number four. Now we get into the last two reasons, and these last two reasons are very dark, okay? Very insidious and kind of evil, but it's true. Reason number four. Why did emperors traditionally love corrupt politicians working for them? Because when the time is right, these corrupt politicians can make the emperor look really good. How, you may ask? Well, let's say you are a Chinese emperor, and then you have a couple of corrupt politicians around you, and you love them, and you let them get away with things, and then 10 years later, everybody hates them. Everybody's been writing you complaints, letters, and like everybody hates them. And then just happen that you notice that your rating is low. Let's say you're like Donald Trump and you got the lowest rating of all the United States presidents in the world, in the US history, right? Like let's say you get to that point where you say, "Oh crap, my popularity is really sucking right now." Tell you what, why don't we do a public execution? Why don't we execute these two corrupt bastards? Because everyone hates them. So if I publicly uh, denounce them, if I publicly execute them, it's going to make people feel really, really good. And people is going to feel really good about me. And this has been a repeating pattern in Chinese history. Let's take us back to the Tang Dynasty, right? So about 1200 years ago, thereabout. The first ever female emperor in Chinese history, Wu Zetian, Wu Jixian. Um, I'm going to just use her Chinese name because when I say that English abomination, it just hurts my tongue. So Wu Zetian, the first ever Chinese female emperor, she was famous for doing that. Wu Zetian had a couple of really corrupt people working for her. They were her spy masters. They were the ones that would tattletale on other people and telling her that who's going to rebel, who's plotting against her, and stuff like that. And most of these charges were fake, right? These people working for her, they were so corrupt that they were using their power to getting other people killed. Whoever offended them, they would tell the emperor that oh, so and so is plotting against you, and then Wu Zetian would have them arrested and then tortured and killed, right? And Wu Zetian loved these people that were working for her, but near the end of her reign, when she realized that people started to really hate her, she did a big turnabout and she did a public trial and execution and tortured and executed these people that worked for her all these years. And everybody suddenly started loving her, thinking, "Oh wow, she's not so bad after all." Yeah, that she's not so bad after all. I mean, come on, let's think about it. Like, okay, I don't really want to get into U.S. politics, right? But I think if tomorrow we turn on the TV and we see that Donald Trump has thrown Elon Musk and J.D. Vance in jail and then sentenced them for life or something like that in there, I think most of us would revise our like opinion of Donald Trump instantly on the spot, right? Like I think most of us would like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. Maybe he's not so bad. Maybe he's kind of nice. Um, so emperors understood that. So emperors would keep some of these corrupt people around them. So whenever their rating, their popularity started to drop low, they would do a big public show trial and execute these people. So people would think that the emperor was just and the emperor really cared and the emperor was a good person because he executed these evil people. The last reason is also pretty dark. Okay, the last reason why emperors loved these corrupt politicians is because these corrupt politicians were practically walking, breathing, living piggy banks. I remember when I was little. I don't know if any of you remember these. Like when I was little, they sold these piggy banks, and they were like ceramic or clay or glass, and they were like made in the shape of a actual pig. And the darnest thing about these piggy bank was there's a slot on the top for you to put the coin in, but there's no way to get the coin back out. Like the idea was at the end of the year, like maybe right before New Year, you go and smash your piggy bank, and you count how much money you saved last year, and then you have to, and then you have to buy a new piggy bank, and that used to be like kind of like a tradition, like little tradition at home. Like for me, like every New Year before New Chinese New Year, I would quote unquote slaughter the pig. I would smash my piggy bank and take out. I had a lot of allowance back then. I grew up in a really rich environment, so like every year when I took my money out of the piggy bank, I would end up with like $20,000 Taiwanese or which amount to about 1,000 Canadian. So yeah, that was really good for a 7-year old kid, right? Um, I don't know if you guys remember those piggy bank. So um, these corrupt politicians basically were these piggy bank. Prime example, He Sen, we mentioned him before. The most corrupt politician in Chinese history amassed so much wealth that, well, if you add up all the wealth from the current richest people in the world, you still wouldn't touch how much He Sen has uh, made for himself. When Jia Qin, emperor of Qing dynasty, uh, took over the throne, he, unlike his father, did not like He Sen. His father loved He Sen, and that's how He Sen was able to be so corrupt because the previous emperor loved him, but the new emperor didn't care for him. So Jia Qin, as soon as he got on the throne, one of his first order of business was to have He Sen and his whole family executed and confiscate all the wealth they have and added to the uh, country's treasury. At that time, Jia Qin emperor knew that uh, the treasury was almost empty. Like honestly, Jia Qin, when he took over being emperor, China was on the verge of being bankrupt. But when he took the money from He Sen's family and He Sen's personal bank account, it basically boosted Treasury to 100% status. So executing that one corrupt politician saved the entire country's economy. Okay, so this again has been demonstrated again and again and again. Anytime the emperor ran out of money, anytime the emperor knew that the treasury was running out of money, all he would have to do is look for the biggest, most corrupt politician, execute him, and confiscate everything he owns and add it to the national treasury, and the problem would be solved. So these corrupt politicians were useful as like a personal piggy bank for the emperor. Now, some people say, well, if the emperor really needs those money, why didn't the emperor just mm, uh, get those money from people? Why would they have to go through these corrupt politicians? Well, don't forget, it's very important for an emperor to look good, right? If you are an emperor and you don't look good, you won't last very long. Traditionally speaking, most evil emperor, and there were a lot of them, but most evil emperor did not last very long because you get too corrupt, people's going to want to assassinate you. Even your own military is going to turn on you, and even your own royal guard is going to turn on you. So it's a dangerous thing. So as an emperor, you need to try to be nice. So you can't just say, you know what? I feel like we need more money, so I'm going to go and I'm going to raise tax up by 300%. No, you can't do that because you do that, you got to, as soon as you do that, you got a rebellion on your hand. Uh, but these corrupt politicians, they can get away with a lot of stuff, right? Because they are not the emperor. So the worst that can happen is they get caught, and then when they get caught, people come to you. You are the emperor, and if you are the emperor that you want to keep them around, then you give them a slap on the wrist, like Liu Bang did with his prime minister. Hey, hey, dude, you might want to just tone that down a little bit, eh? Go home and think about it. Think about it. People hate you. Okay, go home and yeah, just tone that shit down a little. You can do that, right? And then this corrupt politician keep doing their thing. They'll get fatter, they'll get richer, and then one day when the emperor run out of money, the emperor will well break the piggy bank to get the money. So today we looked at 5 reasons why traditionally corrupt politicians have always been more favored by emperors than good politicians. Number one, corrupt politicians uh, didn't make the emperor feel insecure. The good politicians, where everyone loves them, make the emperor feel really threatened. Number two, corrupt politicians would kiss ass and stroke the emperor's ego and make them feel really good. The good politician, on the other hand, is like, Your Majesty, you shouldn't do that. Your Majesty, you can't do that. Your Majesty, you will not do that. It's like, go F yourself. I'm the emperor. um, so that's the second reason, right? The corrupt politician will make the emperor feel good. Number three, corrupt politician easier to control because you know their dirty little secret. You can always drop a little hint. Hey, I know what you did. You better be loyal to me. Do what I say. Now, you don't have that over the good politicians. The good politicians will stand up tall and say, chop off my head if you wish, but I didn't do anything wrong. And then you end up looking like an a-hole. And number four, if you punish them at the right time, these corrupt politicians make the emperor look really good. When your popularity rating drop really low, grab the most corrupt guy around you and execute them publicly, and everybody loves you. Number five, these corrupt politicians were walking, breathing piggy banks that walk around embezzling, taking bribe, accumulating a lot of wealth. And when the time comes, when emperor need a little bit of pocket change, all he has to do is execute them, and then he will take over their money. History is often sarcastic, ironic, and really sad. When we look back on why so many good politicians didn't make it. And why is it that today, in this super civilized, super enlightened age, we are still struggling with corrupt individuals? Maybe after this episode, we'll understand more why is that. Thank you for checking out today's episode, and I'll be back again tomorrow for more video goodies. Don't forget, I have reorganized the front page of the channel, so now you can access all the cool playlists easily on the front channel by checking out the self-defense section, the music section, the fitness section, etc., etc., etc. There has been a lot of old videos that are no longer displayed on the front page, but in those playlists, they are all there. You can go back to videos that I made 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Honestly, I'm amazed at how many videos I made on this channel. So I hope you guys have fun poking through them. Thank you again, and 再见.